Hey everybody, it's Randy on Teak Key. Listen, we were going to sail today and or tomorrow or both, and we were going to do one more video for this season. We're getting hauled out in 6 days, and so yeah, we were going to do that. But we've got 35 knot winds right now, and the Coast Guard just came on over the radio, and we're looking at 10-foot waves and gale force warnings. So that's just not going to happen. So what we're going to do, or I thought about doing anyway, is I wanted to talk about how I learned to sail and what part YouTube played in that. And so I will talk a little bit about that today, and then also I'm going to do kind of a quick run through and a boat tour, so I can show you what our boat is and what we've been doing with it. So yep, that's what we'll do today. I wanted to talk about learning how to sail on YouTube, and that's what happened for me. People say to me, "Really, you learned how to sail from YouTube?" And I did. I was injured in the fall and was laid up for many months. And during that time, I just start, surfing the web and stuff, and come across a couple sailing channels and found them very interesting. I mean, I'd always been interested in sailing and thought it would be something I'd like to do. But with family and careers and stuff like that, it never happened. But again, being laid up for months, I started to actually study. And I watched a lot of the teaching channels in regards to sailing and stuff. And I got out my spiral notebook and would write stuff down and just learn more and more. And as time went on, I started watching the vlogging channels with people actually out sailing and doing it. And I've learned absolutely tons from them. But I got to a point over the months that I was recovering that I would spend 8 and 10 hours a day basically just studying everything I could about sailing, about rigging, about how to rig, and sail sets and points of sail. Anything I could, I learned about when it comes to sailing, including the mechanics, especially the mechanics, the engines that were available, and the downfalls of some, and how reliable others were, and the typical repairs and that type of stuff. And I'm fortunate I am mechanical, so purchasing my first boat, I had that going for me. So and electrical, I can do that type of stuff. So that was very handy. But still, it was a lot of it was foreign to me. But our first boat that we went out and bought then was a 30-footer, and I almost felt like, with all the studying I had done and all the learning, that when I got in that boat, a licensed captain broker took us out for the first time on it, after I purchased it. And he asked me if I wanted him to take the helm right out of the slip, out of the sling, and I said, no, I've got this. So, and that's just the way I dove into it from the get-go. I wanted to experience it and learn it. And so the first year, and this has just only been 3 years now. I just learned how to sail 3 years ago. So our first year with our 30-footer, we did cross the lake trip, which a lot of people shy away from. The big lake can get kind of scary, and but we did it actually about 2 weeks after we put our boat in the water. 2 weeks to maybe 4 weeks after we put the boat in the water. And I also not only wanted to do a crossing, but I wanted to do it at night. So, and that's what we did. We did a crossing to Wisconsin. We left after work at about 6 p.m. at night, and sailed all through the night. And it was definitely a learning experience. We happened to have an east wind that was going the same direction as us. So we had some following seas that weren't exactly nice seas, and but it taught us a lot. And the second year with that 30-foot boat, we sailed almost 900 miles on the Great Lakes. And my wife doesn't have the same type of time off from work that I do, so I was able to get, more time. And I took off for 23 days with the boat, and I did 700 and some odd miles solo sailing up north around the Straits of Mackinac and that type of thing, and some islands and stuff up there, which taught me tons. And it's a learning experience. And again, with the YouTube, I watch it daily, and it seems like I never fail to come across something that teaches me something. And I don't forget. I remember what I see and try not to make the same mistakes if it's a mistake, or if it's an improvement or a way to do something. I try to incorporate that in what I do. And it's been very helpful. And actually, I'm helping some friends now who bought boats that are their first time, and not small boats either, and it's their first boat. So I've been helping some friends with theirs who are where I was at a few years ago. So that's kind of fun, and I do enjoy that. But at any rate, today I wanted to give you a tour of our boat and show you around this is our second boat now. We have now a Hunter Legend 35. It actually measures like 35.7 inches. It's a fractional rig. It was billed as a racer cruiser when it was sold. It's a 1987. And I'll take you around this boat. And this was an upgrade for us. And it's a much faster boat than what we had. And so it's a little more exciting for us to sail. It generates some pretty good boat speed. You need to be ready to reef quickly with this boat, sooner rather than later. But I'll take you on a tour around the boat and show you the boat, and tell you a little bit of the history of the boat, and then what we've done on it in the last year and a half that we've owned it. So yeah, it should be fun. Okay, so this is our main salon, below deck here, of course, and this is our settee for our dining area. This is actually quite a large table and stuff that pops up. It's quite roomy when you got people sitting around it. Not the easiest to get around, but once you're there, you are definitely comfortable. This boat has a lot of natural light, which we really liked. Our other boat was very dark, and these skylights up here at the top on both sides just let so much natural light in, and that's just a huge thing for me. Got quite a bit of storage along the sides over there with the smoked plexiglass, and those are quite deep. And the galley, those on top, are also quite deep. So we do like the storage. Quite a bit of storage behind the seats, and I'll show you some of that too. They're rather deep back there. We got storage underneath the seats. My refrigeration unit is down underneath the seat too. You can see the vent down here for cooling. Then also the hot water is down here as well. And the refrigeration was a real bonus for us. We realized once I bought it that it was a Cool Blue system, which from what I'm understanding is one of the best on the market. It's got a huge cold plate in the ice box itself, and once that freezes up, the unit itself doesn't cycle very often throughout the day. It is a 12-volt system, but it's supposed to be very efficient. I know it's I've priced it. It's about a $2,900 unit, and through the paperwork I see it was put in 2004. So I did charge it. I spoke with the owner of the company and actually the designer of the system, and he was very nice and very supportive and got me everything I needed to put a charge in it. and it works just great. So this boat has a really huge ice chest, as I guess a lot of them do. This one we actually put a just a motion sensor light in it, which is really handy. And so I mean, it's deep enough to where I gotta lay on my belly to get down to the bottom of it, so we've really never wanted for room. And if we are going to be gone on anchor and stuff, I can easily put 40 pounds of ice in there, no problem. And we usually come back with half of it. So, and then in the galley, it has got a CNG, compressed natural gas, gimbaled stove. It does have a broiler, and the thing is in perfect condition. Operates just wonderful. The problem we got is the fact that we can't get CNG, compressed natural gas, filled here in the state of Michigan. So there is one place 150 miles away down near Detroit that will fill the tank, and the tank actually looks almost like a scuba diving tank, but we can't get it filled. So we're going to take it down and get it filled, because I really don't want to replace the whole stove, seeing how it works so well. And the thing I liked about compressed natural gas is it's a lighter than air gas, and it's a little safer than having like propane build up, at floor level and stuff. But I guess it's just something that's been phased out over the years, and who knows, we might end up needing to do the switch, but that opens up a whole nother thing where I'll have to make a safe propane locker and electric solenoid switch, and it's not just a quick switch. So we've got an aft cabin back here, which is where actually we sleep, and it's quite spacious. It really is. It's at least a queen wide, if not a little bit wider. And so this is where we sleep. I don't know if you can see way in back there or not. There's a hatch that actually goes back to the sugar scoop stern, and that goes all the way around and comes up into a locker on the starboard side, back in the cockpit. So there's a lot of storage back there for stuff that you're not going to want to get to on a daily basis. It's not real handy to get into, but there is a lot of storage back there. Got my battery selectors down here for start and for house. I have 3 house batteries and then 1 start battery, and so that has worked out real well, and they're isolated, of course, so you can shut the start battery off and protect it. We do have ventilation down here. We've got a port here that opens into the cockpit, and then another port here up top, so we can get a little cross ventilation. Plus I do have a 12-volt fan way back there in the bulkhead that we can run, so that's kind of handy too. Yeah, we got a little 15-inch flat screen TV right here that has a DVD player in it. And behind that we've got, I guess it's basically a computer, subwoofer and speakers attached to it to increase the sound, because the sound in these little TVs were so poor. But now it's got, for this small space, almost like a theater type sound. It's pretty cool. Matter of fact, tonight is movie night, so and I agreed to watch a chick flick with my wife, so this is what we're doing. And then up here we got a new stereo system that we put in. There is a speaker control unit on top, which I think I'm going to have to nix that. It seems to have some issues with it. It gets warm and we really don't need it, so I think I'll be taking that out. And we also want to put some new speakers in. I think we'll replace these, the 2 in the cockpit and the 2 down here, just to get a little bit better sound. So again, storage behind these seats here. We did all new cushions, including this commercial fabric that we put on it. And we did all new foam and everything too. So we just got rid of all the old stuff and put in new. And it was a bit challenging, because you can probably see that these have got a curve to them. So that was, I had to relay all that to the upholsterer to make sure that he got it correct and stuff. And he's an amazing upholsterer anyway, and yeah, he did not have any problem with that. So we did that. And then forward up here is our forward V-berth, and I'll show you that here in a second. Our head is quite typical, I guess. We got the manual pump flush toilet, which is new and works well. We got quite a bit of storage in here down below for cleaning and stuff. And then this does have a shower head and stuff in here. Now, as far as a shower curtain and stuff goes, we haven't really made that kind of arrangement yet. The surfaces in here are kind of made to get wet, so I haven't really worried about it too much, but I think technically I could probably string a shower curtain around up in here and protect things a little bit more. But so far it hasn't been an issue. We've used it several times, not a whole lot. We got a mirror and stuff back in here. So chart table, it's just like any other typical chart table. It's a challenge to keep stuff from piling up on it. We have no problem filling it up. It does have a swing out stool to sit at it. I've got a Garmin chart plotter down here, and I have another larger Garmin up at the helm, and they're both wired separately, just in case there ever was a fuse issue or whatever. In the middle of the night I still got some navigation that I can use. We've got the Horizon 2200 that has the AIS receiver on it, and then I have the remote handheld that's attached to this up at the helm. So I got this same screen on the handheld up at the helm, so that's handy too. But so yeah, a little chart up here at the top. I made a holder for a couple torches up here, magnetic bases. Those are handy, so I can grab them in a heartbeat if I need them. Down here I've got the Yanmar 24 horse diesel, and the steps just lift up and pops out. It's quite easy to get at. The area right here on top of the doghouse was not removable when I bought the boat, but it is now. That was a nightmare trying to do anything on the engine with that, so I can pop this all out now and get at things. I still need an access in the head so I can access the side of the engine, and I'll be cutting that in either this fall or in the spring, so you can get at the fuel pump and that type of stuff. That's my only complaint is, you can't ever have enough access to an engine. This bag here is for all of our companionway slats to be stored in, and that works out really well because you're always looking for a spot to put those things. But yeah, so this is the lower area of our boat, and then I'll show you the V-berth up here. All right, my bad, guys. I'm asking for your forgiveness, but the front V-berth is a bit of a mess right now. As I mentioned, we are hauling out for the season in about 6 days, so we're starting to pack stuff out of the boat. So I'm just gathering things up right here. These cockpit cushions, we had these all made new this year, and the same poster who did our salon cushions did these as well, with the piping all around the edge and stuff. None of this stuff is cheap, even when you're a friend. It's very labor intensive, but with care they should last many years. This is a cushion, a foam helm seat that I found on eBay that matches color wise, and I absolutely love it. It's comfortable. I can sit on it for hours, and I think I got that on eBay for about $75, so it was a good find. I like checking eBay out once in a while and stuff. So, and then up here we've got a little hanging locker with a counter. We do have a fan up here as well. This little cabinet over here was kind of interesting. This had a sink in it, and I do have the sink. That's just a little round oval sink. The through hull and everything is down below yet, but the previous owner took it out just wanting the counter space, and I guess I kind of get that. I'm not sure, why you would really need another sink here, other than just to say that you've got one. but I think at this point right now I'm leaning towards leaving it out. I was originally going to put it back in, but I'm not gonna. So, and yeah, I apologize for any bug poop and stuff you guys see. I typically will keep the boat cleaner than this, but it's been a week or so since we've been out, and we're at the end of the season, and you know how that goes. You sometimes let things get away from you a little bit. Got our engine controls down there, ignition and engine stop, and RPM setting there. So we've got the Raymarine EV100 autopilot system, and that is new. So that's handy to have. This is an older tri-data, and but still functioning. But I think that will be upgraded at some point soon. And this is our other Garmin up here. This is our handheld for our standard Horizon, which again also gives you the same screen that I have downstairs. So if we get a ship that gets called out to us, you can set that at like 5 or 8 miles or anything in between, I believe. It has a new compass that was just installed too. We had a teak table and teak drink holders and stuff, and I took those out, and then I built new out of starboard, and then just took your typical clip-on drink holders like we have back here, and dissected those and attached them to the starboard for the drink holders and stuff. I just liked the white. It's just something I don't have to refinish all the time, and to be honest with you, I think it looks just a little more modern. We put a new life sling on. Those were on sale at Christmas time last year, so we snagged one of those. Yeah, so everything seems to be working real well. I do have an issue with my wind speed on my stow wind instrument on top of the mast, and so that's got to get sorted this winter. So like next week I'm gonna have to go up the mast and pull down the transducer and stuff, and probably get that sent off to England to either be rebuilt or replaced. The wind direction is still working. It's just the wind speed that I'm having issue with, and I went up and checked it out once, and there is definitely, you know, something wrong with the anemometer. It just drags. So, and I tried freeing it up with lubricants and stuff, and that's just not happening. So locker wise, storage, we got one locker here, and full of crap right now, but it's huge. I mean, I can actually get down in there, and we've just been tossing stuff in here this last week or so. But that's the one that goes all the way around the back of the sugar scoop and then comes out into the aft berth. So there is, I mean, a lot of room down there if you organize. And we got a bunch of lines here that you can organize stuff with, your docking lines and stuff like that. We do carry bolt cutters in case we have to snip off any standing rigging, which we hope that would never happen, but it's just a safety thing to have on. So, but at any rate, that's the 1987 Hunter Legend 35, and that's our new boat to us. And so far we really like it. It's a lot easier boat to sail than our last one, even though it's larger, and we do appreciate that. So docking and stuff like that, it doesn't seem to be horrible by any means. You got just a pre-plan. I do have a lot of windage on this boat, though. I will say that, obviously, I mean, we keep the side curtains and everything on. We got the sail pack, we got the dinghy on the back. I mean, that's just a lot of windage. So all that comes into play when we come out of the slip or come into one. But the thing of it is that you know what the wind is going to do to you because of the windage, so you operate accordingly. So a lot of times I'll get an east wind down this runway here, so I'll back out of the slip, and then I'll back all the way down the runway and then out. It's just, you know, it's the only way you can do it. It's just let the wind weather vane you and back out. It's just, you just got to read the wind and use it to your advantage. As far as docking goes, we do have a docking bridle that I'll rig to where you can come in and it will catch the bow and stop the bow, and you can actually leave the boat in idle and turn your helm over and lock it and push the boat right to the dock right there, and very easily step off the boat. I use that a lot if we're going to be out till after dark. I don't want to get dependent on it because we go to lots of different marinas and stuff, and my wife and I want to be able to have a system where we can step off the boat and tie it up ourselves and not get too dependent or too lazy on something like that. But it is handy when we do use it. So at any rate, I hope you enjoyed this short tour of the boat. I wish I was able to get more in depth with it, but we are out of time for the season. So all right, you all have a good day. Thank you. Okay, just a quick outside tour of the boat, if I can pull this off. We just got gale force alert from the Coast Guard, 35 knots gusting. So I will go out and try and see if I can keep the wind noise down to a minimum here, but just show you a quick look at the outside of the boat. We bought this boat and it did have brand new sails just installed that year, so we got a full bat and main sail, and the sail pack was new. I did install the new lazy jack lines myself. The other ones I thought looked kind of light, and so I beefed those up a bit. We got a full 130 Genoa, which was all brand new too, and then brand new sheets for that. On the Hunter, the roller furler is installed below deck, and I understand that they did that to get maximum sail area up here on the bow. So the sail does run quite low to the deck, and you can get a lot of sail up here that way. I can see where it'd probably be a little difficult if you were stepping the mast, and getting that in and out could be kind of tricky. You can access it through the anchor locker here. Yeah, so, and this is a fractional mast, and this boat was built as a racer cruiser when it was built. It is a little faster boat than our old one, quite a bit faster actually. And with all that sail area, we need to reef much quicker, sooner than later, but the good news is that we can do all that right from the cockpit, and it's quite easy to do. So the Dodger and the Nemi and the connector and the side curtains are all brand new this spring. We had a sailmaker or a canvas man that worked for us on our other boat do this one as well, and he's really an artist. He really does a good job getting stuff to fit. It's all components, every piece comes apart, and you can operate it with or without them, so that works out really good. We do have matching grill color cover, and then for our 10-foot dinghy, we have a cover that matches also for this, and that can be a little tricky to put on. I don't use it all the time, mostly in the spring and wet weather, and when the birds are out in the spring I like to keep it covered up because they can get a bit messy. But the davits I installed when we bought the boat. Those are Marquette davit, and very easy to install. I did them by myself. Went real easy. So, but I made some structural changes in the pulpit there, added some supports and stuff too, so to give it some strength. But that comes in really handy. We can take the seat out back here and walk right down to the water. So we put some rubber matting down here, just that we purchased at West Marine. We tracked in off the dock so much that it was always dirty here, so we bought that rubber mat, and that really works out well. They come in 1-foot squares, and you can just snap them together. So all of our safety lines or safety rails are all in good condition. No bent stanchions or anything, so that's really handy. Our halyards are either new or very near new. So most all of our running rigging is in excellent condition. So yeah, we're happy with it. Got a new Delta 35-pound anchor that is made for about 10 feet bigger than this in length. So we are over anchored a little bit, and that's a nice secure thing to have. I like being able to sleep at night knowing I got a good anchor set. We've even had other boats raft with us, and we've held real well. So the mast is 54 feet above water level, so there is a lot of sail here. It takes a little bit of wind and turns it into some really decent boat speed. On the flip side of that is the boat is quite tender, meaning that when the winds do come up, we need to reef right away, sooner rather than later, because she will heel to the point where it's just not efficient, and you'll have the same boat speed with way less sail area out. So the thing is just get it reefed and get it done with. So, but what I like I said, is with the light days, with light winds, that we can still get a decent boat speed out of it. So I installed some handles here on the side, and probably will be installing a couple more, just figuring out where people are trying to grab and stuff, so I can figure out where I need to put stuff. But yeah, so that's the outside of the boat. For her age, she's in good shape. And it's going to be hard to put her away for the next 6 months. And for those of you who do own boats and have to go through the winterizing like we do up here in Michigan, you know how much work it is. And so that's what I'll be looking forward to the next week, winterizing the engine and getting the domestic water system all blown out, and everything protected from the hard freeze this winter. So, and then in the spring we'll be doing our bottom paint. I did new boot stripes this spring, so we'll just be doing a wax and some VC17 on the bottom, and we're golden and good to go. So yep. Well, thanks you guys for going around the boat with me, and I'm glad I finally took time to show you the boat. Have a good day.